Hello, this is Brian Castro, back rank brawler on ICC and chess.com, and I'm here with another Better Chess Tactics video. Let's take a look at this position. It is black to play. Pause the video and take a minute or two and try to solve it. And then we'll come back and discuss the solution. Welcome back. I hope you took a minute or two to try to solve it before continuing with the video. And let's start out with the solution, and then we can discuss how we came about that and why it's the best answer. The solution to this position is queen to b1 check. And after king to h2, black can capture the knight on g4 and is simply ahead a lot of material. So let's discuss this and why other solutions are not the best. Well, for a lot of people, and for me as well, the obvious response after knight to g4 would simply be f takes g4. And then black looks to be up a lot of material. However, we need to consider our opponent's responses, especially any checks or captures or threats that he may have to our candidate move when we're calculating. And after f takes g4, white has the check queen to e4 check. And in this type of position where we're up a lot of material, really white's only chance is to try to, unless there's a tactic where he can win the material back, we're really looking out for checkmate or perpetual check threats. Now there's not really any checkmate threats here, but we have to see if there's a way to get out of perpetual check. So I'll just give you a couple examples of where the king can go, and the king has a few ways to get out of check. One would be to block with the rook, which doesn't seem like a good idea because the queen would just take the rook and put the king in check again. So the king probably would like to run here, and so here he can go to g7, to h8, or to g8. So let's just cover those quickly. King to g7. Well, here again, white can follow up with check, and if he plays a move like king to f8, that would be a mistake because queen to h8 is mate. And we could see if the king goes to any of the other squares that the queen will also be able to continue with the checks. For example, king to h8, then queen to e8 check, threatening to take the rook on f7, king to g7, queen to e5 check, and we see that it's very similar to before. So let's back up just to be thorough. King to g8, and again we have queen to e8 check, and if he tries to block, we have queen to g6 check. King to h8, queen takes h6 check, and again with perpetual check. There is no way for black to escape. So going back to the original position, we see that f takes g4 is what we want to do to win the material, but we can't do it right away. So a thought process to find the solution, obviously you could just do trial and error for all your moves, but a thought process to find the solution would be, I know if I take the knight right away that he would play queen to e4 check with perpetual check at the very least. So is there a way to cover the e4 square? Now there actually is a few ways, and I won't go through all the variations, but the one way would be to cover it with the queen, and there's three squares where the queen can do it. c6, b7, or b1. And we can see here that if he if the queen plays to either c6 or b7, that the knight would be able to just simply escape or move somewhere where uh, the knight's no longer on pre. But if we take a look at queen b1 check, we are covering the e4 square and checking the king with tempo. So the king, of course, has to move, and we see that the e4 square and that whole diagonal is covered by the queen, and so there are no safe, after we take the knight, there would be no safe checks for white, and therefore black should be able to win this position fairly easily up a whole rook, and actually a whole rook and a pawn. Okay, and it's pretty dire for white. Just to give you a quick look here, if white were to try to attack the rook, then simply g3 is checkmate, and after capturing the pawn, black can pretty much do what he wants to do. So the major lessons here are to make sure you consider your opponent's responses to your moves when you're doing your calculations, and also the themes of avoiding perpetual check and an in-between move with queen to b1 check. And I hope this helps you in your games. Come and find me on my chess blog, www.betterchesstraining.com. And otherwise, I hope you will check out my other videos as they come out. Have a great day.